I'm going to butcher, or perhaps at best paraphrase, Todd Monkin. He was recently quoted saying something to the effect that he's taking Lamar back to Louisville. I wanted to go back and watch some Louisville footage with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, see if I can get even just an inkling of what we mean by that. I'll need some indulgence in that I'm not watching all 22 footage, so routes, coverages on the back end are difficult to see at times, but I'll try to glean what I can and pass on what I can. A couple things I've noticed about Bobby Petrino. He loves to get favorable matchups on linebackers. That is a skill player on a linebacker. He'll do whatever he needs to in terms of motions and formations and personnel groupings. We'll see that here. See Lamar motion the back out wide, motions to empty, and off the ball, you'll see the tight end matched up on this linebacker, which would be a favorable matchup, 2nd down and 3. I'll run the play, and then we'll talk about what Lamar is seeing and how it functions in this offense. Here's the motion to empty, and what looks very simple is only simple because Lamar has drilled this, and he makes it look simple. Another thing we'll point out about Bobby Petrino is he almost always has somebody running the seam in terms of route distribution. It is not always a tight end very often, as is the case here. It's a wide out. And I'll say this is his home run look. I think he always wants his quarterbacks looking to this first. So what does Lamar see off the ball? Because I'm guessing this is probably what they want on 2nd and 3 if the seam route is not open. He's going to see a zone drop by the linebackers, but more specifically, he sees this middle of the field open up. The safety's got his back to the middle of the field. In fact, this is sort of a quarter halves look, and Lamar does not miss. Right off the ball, that's what he's looking for, and he hits it. Mentioned that the receiver running the seam is also reading this. If the middle of the field is open, he's going to split the safeties right down the middle, which is what we see. If he's being covered up the seam by one of the safeties, that is sometimes referred to as the control side, and Lamar is coached to look away from that. If the middle of the field is closed, this receiver has the option to sit this down just behind the linebackers, and that can be very effective depending on the routes that are underneath. Watch it again. Another thing that you see Lamar doing at Louisville under Bobby Petrino and his system is work with tempo. It isn't necessarily a hurry up, but it is a no huddle offense, a tempo offense. You really force the defense to show their hand based on your formation. Lamar has time to survey the defense, the way they're lined up. You see a 5-man box brought about here by this 3-by-1 set out of 10 personnel. In this offense, it's my understanding Lamar has the ability to change calls, change protections, change route combinations. But you see this 5-man box here. He gets the look he wants. They pull the tailback or swing the tailback or stretch the tailback. You see there's an inherent stretch horizontally, and you see a QB draw. Again, they get to the line quickly, force the defense to more or less declare itself, and you see the one linebacker out of this 5-man box have to sprint out late, once the ball is snapped, to cover this running back. And I'm sure Lamar is going to hit him if he doesn't. Because he doesn't, he takes off. Watch it again. There may be a presumption that Roman did none of the stuff Petrino did, or Petrino did none of the stuff that Roman does. That's just not true. I think they both saw Lamar's legs as just a tremendous weapon. He's just special. I think it's very tempting to not just put the ball in his hands when you need 2 yards on 3rd down or 4th down. You see that here. And that may not change just because Roman's gone. We've already heard Monkin really preaching precision in route running. The receivers, along with the quarterback, are constantly evaluating coverages pre-snap, and they run routes differently. And I'm not even talking about choice routes. I'm talking about steps they might take on a curl against press man, let's say, or against off coverage. That route, the same route, will change, and the quarterback and the receiver have to be on the same page in that regard. Monkin is going to be all over Lamar Jackson in terms of making his reads quickly, what he's determining pre-snap, how it's confirmed or not confirmed post-snap, why he's making reads, his footwork, getting the ball out quickly. Is there a hitch? Is there not a hitch? This is an example to me of Lamar just holding the ball a tick too long and perhaps missing a read over the top of these linebackers. Zips it to him, but I think he's a little late, as I said, getting the ball out. That's the kind of thing he'll be required to do, be precise. And obviously he's a way different, way better quarterback now than he was. I think this is his first year, or 2016, I think. I think Lamar's going to be asked to buckle down in ways that he hasn't since college. Perhaps in some way that's what Monkin means, or that's part of what he means. And I don't want to say he needs to be coached hard. I'm just not sure he's been coached hard at his time in the pros. These kind of nuances. But you're going to see Petrino at the end of this play come down on him very hard. And then a few plays later, we're going to see how Lamar responds. I think he responds well in general to this sort of coaching. Now watch Petrino on the sideline here. Drag this along. You can read his lips. That's him. He's going to ask Lamar, what are you doing? Joe was wide open. I think he says Joe. Yeah, he's not happy. Lamar apparently missed an open read. He says, what are you doing? Now he tells him there was a receiver wide open. And he goes at him. And I do think Lamar is a player who will respond to this if the guy giving it to him is someone he respects. We'll watch that one more time. And this is an image of Bobby Petrino and Lamar Jackson, the very next series. I'm very curious to see Monkin and his offense. He's his own guy, obviously very talented, and I'm not sure it's going to have much to do with Petrino, but I think Lamar is very fortunate to have a guy like Bobby Petrino as a college coach, and now Monkin, both of whom have this extreme attention to detail, right down to the point where if he takes a hitch on a 3-step drop where one is not written in, he's going to hear about it. This is the first play of the very next series. Lamar's had a good talking to. Check out this throw. Now, I think he's been struggling with receivers and drops for a while now. This hits this guy right in the chest. Now, maybe he should have taken this route, but this is a strike. Watch it again. This is another great throw he makes right on the heels of that drop in the end zone. Just a beautiful ball. He hits, I think it's this number 3 running the sail route. Watch him drop it right over the coverage, right at the sideline.